Private speaking, yes, private speaking can be as important to an executive's progress as public speaking. Probably 90% of your ideas are accepted or rejected on the basis of private conversations with your superiors, subordinates, associates, and others. Yet little attention is paid to the technique and skills that result in effective private speaking. Here are some important tips that can increase your skill. Don't try to impress your listener. You sound sincere when you say things you really believe, in your own way.
Well, according to the organization chart, a department of this size should have 2 more secretaries. It's incumbent upon me to provide full staff.
Not very convincing, was he? Now, listen to this department head.
John, when I see the amount of overtime we're paying on top of office temporaries, I've got to recommend hiring 2 more secretaries.
Points 2 and 3. Be prepared, be brief. The one follows from the other, because the secret to brevity is preparation. Never, if you can possibly avoid it, speak on a truly impromptu basis. Rehearse every telephone call, if only for 10 or 15 seconds before dialing. And if you're called around to the boss's office, use the 2 or 3 minutes it takes to get there to prepare your thoughts. If you don't know what he wants you for, run through the possibilities. What might have come up? What could it mean to you? You won't be right every time, but your batting average will be significantly better. Now, listen to this young man.
If we don't go to 3 shifts before the end of the month, we'll never fulfill our contractual commitments.
What'd he say? Trouble is that people get tired of asking the mumbler to repeat himself, decide it isn't worth the trouble, and thus his ideas never get across. If you think you have such a problem, a simple practice exercise will cure it. Hold a pipe stem or pencil in the side of your mouth and read aloud for 15 minutes every night, trying to pronounce each word as clearly as the impediment permits. Within a month, your diction will be significantly improved. Here is another important tool in private speaking. You have just heard 8 seconds of silence, and silence is one of the most powerful tools at your command. Here's how it can punctuate the answers to a question.
So what would be your recommendation, Tom?
That we put Plan B into effect before the end of the month.
Contrast that with the judicious use of a little silence.
So what would be your recommendation, Frank?
That we put Plan B into effect before the end of the month.
Same words, but what a vast difference in the weight of the recommendation. You might call it poise by pause, because the man who takes his time radiates poise. It can be equally effective to lower your voice when you come to an important point. Never try to outshout someone who's trying to interrupt you. The lowered voice usually gets the attention. Ever suffer from stage fright? Nearly everyone has at one time or another, even in the presence of a single awesome individual. So here are 3 tips for at least controlling it. First, concentrate on what you're going to say rather than how you'll say it. Knowing the subject inside out creates confidence and calm. Fretting about your delivery builds tension. Second point, shortness of breath. There's an effective way of minimizing it. Simply make sure you stand or sit in an erect position. Slouching cuts the wind. And third, when you are frankly terrified of an individual, whether alone or in a group, try this simple brainwashing experiment. Just before you speak, look right at him and picture him at the wash basin brushing his teeth this morning. No fooling. This mental image of him may be just what you need to address him as a person, which is the secret of all effective communication. Now, listen to this executive beginning a presentation to 3 of his superiors.
Before making any recommendations, gentlemen, let me summarize quickly the major benefits of the alternative products we're considering. First, the Massey Harris proposal. The expected sales volume for New England is estimated at, well, I don't seem to have the figure. In any case, it's less, I know that, I'm sure of that, than what we had.
It seems that at least one piece of paper is back in his office, if not at home. The rule he broke? Rehearse. Always rehearse any presentation. This is absolutely essential. And rehearse out loud with the actual papers or props you'll be using. You can't know how each part of a presentation will go until you've actually done it. Finally, the semi-formal talk, which falls somewhere between private speaking and public speaking, but can be vital to your advancement. First, always check your appearance. A wisp of hair standing straight up or a wing of your collar sticking out can attract more attention than what you're saying. Don't demand attention when you start. Simply stand up and wait. It's better that someone else do the shushing for you, and they will. Third, your hands. Europeans use them naturally while speaking. Most Americans don't. So fold your arms or place the hands firmly on the table, even in your pockets if standing. This way, if they shake, it won't be seen, and you'll avoid such gestures of insecurity as straightening your tie or patting hair in place. Remember, private speaking is an essential tool of modern management. It is also essential to your personal advancement. Listen to these examples and tips until they become second nature to you. You will become a more effective manager. This has been a Nation's Business presentation.